Alright, hello. Just figured I'd make a video on my top 5 favorite forearm exercises, and these will be the flexor part of the forearm. I'll probably make another video on the extensor, but for now we'll just stick with the flexor. So one of the favorite variations for me is to use fat grips. And I just feel it puts my wrist in a better position. And then I built this little forearm curl bench just out of 2x4s, and then I put some padding up top. So it's pretty basic, but it allows you to do the curls and not worry about hitting on the side of anything. So for this variation, I like to do partial reps. I do both partial and full, but this movement in particular I like to do just little partial reps for like higher reps. I just feel that gives more of a burning sensation, and I just feel it working better that way. So it's just a little partial movement with the fat grips handle. I find that this handle here, I think it's 2.25. It's kind of on the border of being too big, and then it's on the it's on the border of being almost too big, but it's right there, so it still gives a good feeling. I used to use the 2-inch handle, but I find that this one it's pretty decent, so I like this for just a different feel. I feel like with no fat grips, I like to do a different variation. So from time to time I'll use no fat grips for like a CYP style wrist curl, but for this wrist curl bench I like to use the partial movements. So that's the first exercise there, my first favorite. And then second favorite will be just a standing wrist curl, and I find that this one works best. You roll it down your fingers a little bit and then curl up. So I find that gives just a better range of motion, whereas if you just try to curl it, when the weight gets heavier it won't work as well. So I find that rolling it a little bit still gives that range of motion. So that's how I like to do those. Just roll it down a little bit. If you want to make it super hard, you could try to roll it as far as you can, but I don't know if that's really needed or not. Depends on you. If you like that feel, you could probably do it. So that's the standing dumbbell wrist curl. And then this one I like. This one will probably be a repeat for the extensors, but I also like this one for the flexors. This is a 2-inch PVC pipe with a strap on it, and you just roll it up. And there's many different ways to do this. This is just one of the variations, and you can also do it the reverse way, but that's you're working the extensors now. When I do these, I like to do both of them, so I'm hitting them both. So I'll just alternate a front roll and then a back roll. Sometimes I will isolate it, but most of the time I just alternate it. I just find that gives a much better pump if you're working both at the same time. I do find that this size of pipe is for me, it works best. I do have thinner, but I find that the 2-inch pipe gives the best feel. So the next one here, I have the axle bar. So this is just an axle bar wrist curl. And then once again, this is just a partial movement. So what I like to do to get it up there, I set the power rack to the proper height, and then I just rock back, keeping my wrist locked into place. So now they're at the top, and I just do a partial movement And I'll go down till I can't see my knuckles. And I just come back up again. So it's a very small range of motion, but for the wrist, I mean, you feel it. So even with a small range of motion, you feel it. So I just do it for higher reps. And then to go down, you just go back down. Just lock your wrists into place and then follow it down. I find that that's probably the safest way to do it instead of just dropping it. So that's how I like to do those. And then the last version that is one of my favorites is the CYP style wrist curl, which the only thing I don't like about it is I probably need to come up with a bench that I can set it out here, because when you do these, the size of the dumbbell here, so this is better to use like a smaller dumbbell, because you're going to hit on the bench unless you're like really far out. So you want to gauge where you want to be before you start. Come down, and then I like to use a full range on these. You can even roll it down your fingers if you want. But this style I like to use full range. I just feel it much better that way. And these give you quite a pump, so these are a good one to do. Just be careful. I wouldn't go too heavy to start out, because those can feel a little awkward on your elbow a little bit. So start out light and just work your way up, just like anything else. But I do feel that variation there gives you quite a pump. So it's a good one to do if you've never tried it before. I recommend giving it a try. And I'll show you once again. Show you without the weight. So you set up where you make sure you get positioned so that the dumbbell's not hitting on the bench, and then just roll to your side. And I like to put my hand on my elbow joint to support it a little bit, and then just go down. You can try not putting your hand on your elbow joint, but it's going to pull a little more, and it kind of hurts your shoulder a little bit. So I find that alleviates a little bit of the pressure on the shoulder if you just push on your elbow just a little bit. So that's that technique for that. So we've got the fat grip partials wrist curl, the standing dumbbell wrist curl, the 2-inch pipe roll, the axle bar, and then the CYP style wrist curls. Those are I think those are my top 5 favorite. I mean, I've done all sorts of different variations, but I think those right there are probably my favorites, hands down. Those are the ones I always come back to, always do them. And there are many different handles. I'll just go grab them real quick and show them to you. Some different handles you can use. I've got a 3-inch handle. I got a 2-inch. And then I've got a cone grip. And then of course a fat grip. So these are all different handles you could use, and you could also use no fat grips. I just find using these different handles, it puts different stressors on your hand and wrist. But the fatter handles are going to put a lot of the weight pressure in the fingers. But it's just good for variation. So if you've never tried it, I recommend giving it a try. So hopefully this video helps with choosing your forearm exercises, gives you some new ideas. Take care. Have a good rest of your day.